It's football season, and Ramey Richlands is here to crunch the competition. Our unbeatable lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs will leave you feeling like a champion every time you hit the road. Whether you're driving through rugged terrain or cruising down the city streets, Ramey Richlands has the perfect ride to tackle any challenge. Ramey Richlands is the game changer you need to take your driving experience to the next level. It's your deal, your way. Visit one of our dealerships today or shop online at RameyRichlands.com.
You are watching After the Whistle. I'm your host, Brian Moore, along with Mr. Tom Crigger. This is episode 7.7.
Region D, it's time to get your football fix. But first, let's show you these crispy and juicy teriyaki wings.
Look at the caramelization on this.
I don't even know what caramelization is.
Look at that. There ain't but one place you can get this, folks.
Only place.
Only place.
BELLACINO'S.
What was that you carried out of here in that box a minute ago?
Can't tell everything.
It looked good, I can tell you that.
It looked good.
I think it was a calzone.
All right.
Not coming from a cow.
Cal as an L. All right, episode 7.7. Let's get straight to the scoreboard. Now that we've got the wings taken care of. And
I'm back.
Crigger has not noticed that these are barbecue wings instead of teriyaki. And the good news is he's got some teriyaki wings on the way because they sent him some barbecue wings.
I already knew that.
Did you?
I told you these wasn't teriyaki.
No. Well, we knew it before you knew it.
Yeah, but you told me they were.
Well, we was trying to see what would happen. Noticed it didn't stop you from eating.
No.
You asked me was it teriyaki, and I said yes.
No, I didn't. I said,
Well,
these ain't teriyaki.
She's got some teriyaki in the oven.
Oh, good. Here, y'all need to help me eat these here.
All right. Straight to the scoreboard. Last week we had some interesting games, some not so interesting games. George Wythe, 49, Fort Chiswell, 6. Trey Rainey, 4 more touchdowns for the Maroons. That's 6 wins in a row now for George Wythe. Rye Cove, 40, Chihai, 39. 2 times potential 2-point conversion by the Warriors. Failed at the end of the game with 4 seconds left to win the game. Both teams combined for 751 yards total offense, 79 points in this one. Chilhowie trailed 20-6 at the half. They led briefly in the fourth quarter. It was short-lived. And the Warriors could have taken the lead at 4:34 left in the game with a 2-point conversion. It also failed. And then, of course, the one at the end of the game with 4 seconds remaining failed as well. So Chilhowie on the brink of a major upset at Rye Cove. And for the last 2 games, the Warriors have only been defeated by 6 points, so they're playing much better. I don't know if they're playing that much better. Rye Cove was exposed. I don't know.
I know that Chilhowie threw the ball a lot on them, and they caught a lot of passes. I wasn't there, just going by what people said. But hats off to Coach Sturgill there at Chilhowie for having a good game plan and playing hard. I know they come up short, but, you know, in the back of their mind, they feel like they probably won.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody's did that to Rye Cove yet.
And Rye Cove, you know, looking to try to go unbeaten on the season.
And, you know, it's hard to win every game.
Yeah, well, that's true. When you get to this point in time in the season, especially when you're undefeated, everybody's going to give you your best.
Their best, that's right.
So maybe that's the case of what it was, but we will see if this is a, a harbinger of things to come. Next, Honeacre 42, Patrick Henry 28. It was.
But that was a pretty good game.
Oh, yeah.
Until they said Patrick Henry's quarterback went out and said that
it changed the whole dynamic.
That's right. They couldn't move the ball as good as that they were. So
the Music Brothers put on a show, 470 yards passing for Peyton Music, which was a school record, and he broke the previous school record, which he also owned. Avery, his brother, also broke school record, 265 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. So 2
I
school
hear they're
records.
pretty good.
They're pretty decent. Yeah. PH did lead this game 22-20 and 28-26. So this was a tight game until it broke open there late. But Homeacre with the Music Brothers setting school records. Tulsa, West Virginia 42, Hurley 20. Landon Atkins had 14 tackles in that game for
And
the
I was
Rebels.
told that the Rebels was winning at one time.
Yeah, and the fact that they were in were they at West Virginia?
Yes.
Well, on the road in West Virginia.
I was told that they were up, I don't know, 14-6 or 20-8 or something. They were up, and then they got 9 straight penalties on them.
Imagine that. that comes with the contract, I think.
That's what Beefstick said.
Yeah.
I hear
Take it with a grain of salt there,
14 to
folks.
12 at halftime.
14-12 halftime,
That's what I
and
heard.
then they come out in the second half, and it was kind of clear that they were not going to win the ball game.
Yeah. Well, that comes with the environment. Holston 31, Johnson County, Tennessee 20. The Cavs defeat an undefeated 8-0 Johnson County. That was considered an upset big win for Holston. Grundy 40, Marion 13. Trey Taylor scored on a 51-yard touchdown run, first play of the game for the Wave. It was pretty much Katie bar the door after that.
Logan and Trey dominated.
Logan Lester 4 touchdown runs for the Wave, who improves to 4-4. And I tell you, this is a football team that's peaking at the right
I'm
time.
calling it now. I mean, nobody wants to play Grundy in the first round of the playoffs.
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if Grundy's not in the Region D championship.
It could
yet.
be.
I mean, it's
I
very
don't.
possible.
I mean, I can go far to say. I mean, they've got the 2 backs to go to the region finals.
All right, Giles 24 in an upset over Tazewell 21. Giles 24, Tazewell 21. Giles trailed 21-14 in the fourth quarter. They took the lead. Tazewell got the ball down to the 7-yard line, 4th and inches, and Giles got the stop and secured the win. Spartans pick up a big win against the Bulldogs, 24-21. Richlands, the 19-game losing streak is now
The
over.
big R is back, baby.
Back in the saddle again. Richland snaps that losing streak, 42-15 against Galax. Abingdon 10, Ridgeview 7. I had 2 people send me messages after this game, and then of course read the article in the Herald Courier. Fire up the DeLorean, folks. Head back to 1980s because Abingdon and Ridgeview played an old-fashioned football game. They ran the ball. It was a slobber knocker. It was a defensive battle, 10-7 at the half. Ended up being the final score. A lot of people said it was a classic, old-school Southwest Virginia football game, and Abingdon came out on top, 10-7. Hats off to both teams. But like I said, I had a couple people message me and said this reminded me of an old-school football game back in the day. Gate City 55, John Battle 14. Battle kept things interesting for a quarter. After that, Gate City went into the halftime and honored the 1974 2A state champs, and they improved to 5-3 on the season. Lehigh 46, Wise Central 34. This game was back and forth, and then Lee kind of secured the victory late in the game. But Y Central kept coming back. Air Pendergraft was 25 for 30, 410 yards. And a freshman, Evan Hayes, had 146 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns for Wise. That's a name that probably need to earmark because we're going to be hearing his name in the future. And London Horn reached the end zone 2 times in the loss for Wise. J.I. Burton 12, Castlewood, the Mustard Biscuit Brigade, the hope of winning back-to-back games, thwarted by the Burton Raiders. Castlewood, Alex Colley had 29 carries, 145 yards rushing for Burton. Riverview 42, Twin Valley 0. Second time this year that the Panthers have been scoreless in the game. Eastmont, however, is next on the homecoming schedule. Is that correct, Coach?
Yes, sir.
All right, hopefully we can get back in the win column there. Eastside 41, Tom Walker 6. Keldon Hamilton had 145 yards rushing for the Spartans. That'll do it for our scoreboard for last week. Let's now take a look at BELLACINO'S, if you will. We just showed you some of those delicious wings.
I'm gonna put a microphone on. People watch that old TikTok where they
they're smacking eating. Oh yeah. Well, there might be something in that. I don't know. Might be something. We might be able to get ratings up. I don't know. Folks, hit that like button if you like to listen to Crigger ET's wings. All right, fresh is not a gimmick. That's right, folks. BELLACINO'S bakes their bread fresh from scratch at all locations every single day. All their pizzas, their salads, their grinders, everything is made to order. Nothing is pre-made, heated, or anything like that. BELLACINO'S has been using the same recipe that Grandpa Sam used back in 1959, and they haven't changed anything. So stop by and visit the Grundy BELLACINO'S location for the absolute freshest meal in town. BELLACINO'S, great food, great service, great times. Food so good, make your tongue want to slap your brains out. All right, and speaking of that, BELLACINO'S, or BELLACINO'S Player of the Week, is Mr.
Landon Atkins from Hurley High School.
Woo! All right.
I was choked. It come out as a sneeze.
We're not editing this out. As we were saying, BELLACINO'S Player of the Week.
Don't want to take away from Landon here.
He had 14 tackles in Hurley's loss to Tulsa.
I think a whole chicken leg go that way.
Let's get back on Landon, boys.
Let's go back.
Landon had a great game there, but like you said, when you're in West Virginia, they're going to make it a point that just basically say you're not going to win this game.
Landon, a specimen of an athlete, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big kid. Landon Atkins, Hurley BELLACINO'S Player of the Week. All right, our peak performers of the week this week. And man, we've got quite a few to give shout-outs to here.
From state record breakers to high school records.
Yeah. And we're going to start out with, from Richlands High School, Andrew Boyd. Andrew's been playing quarterback for a few games now. He was 16 of 19 the other night for 166 yards, 3 touchdown passes, and 1 rushing touchdown in Richlands' win against Galax, helping them overcome that losing streak. And I've got Andrew in class, great kid, very well mannered, and interested in doing what's best for the football team. So we want to give hats off to him. Andrew Boyd, Richlands, one of our peak performers of the week. Next, we've got Mr. Brennan Pendergraft from Lehigh.
He's put up some big numbers last couple of weeks.
Impressive numbers. He was 28 of 33 for 429 yards, 7 touchdown passes for Lee the other night. So he's also one of our peak performers of the week.
Listen, he's not even the best quarterback in his family.
Oh, he's not?
No, Jeremy, his uncle.
His uncle.
I'd love to see Jeremy throw 33 times. Well, you're welcome, Pendergraft, Jeremy.
You hear that, Brennan? All right, up next we got Luke Trent, wide receiver from Eastside. He had 283 all-purpose yards and 5 touchdowns in Eastside's win this past week. Next we got from Virginia High, Keyshawn Smith, 273 all-purpose yards. Listen to this, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a blocked field goal. That's pretty impressive all-around performance. That was against
and the field goal was a big block.
Yeah, against a very good Lebanon team.
Next, I take it he was number 3.
Yes, that would be him. Grundy, from Grundy, Mr. Logan Lester. Logan had 8 carries, 261 yards, and 4 touchdowns against Marion. Next, we have one of our peak performers of the week, and I could call this a duo, I guess you could say, from Honeacre. Peyton Music, 470 yards passing, a school record. And he had 5 touchdown passes. The 5 touchdown passes he threw wasn't a school record, but the 5 that his brother Avery caught was a school record. And he also, Avery also had a school record most receiving yardage in a game. So both brothers established school records at Honaker, so hats off to them. And now let's move over to Lebanon, where Mr. Caden Boyd had 21 receptions from the wide receiver position, 208 yards, 1 touchdown, a VHSL state record, 21 receptions in 1 game for Lebanon against Virginia High the other day.
That was great. That's one of the reasons I went. I'm real good friends with John, Chris, and Scotty, and I've been trying to get to watch Caden play, and I'm glad I picked that game. Virginia High had a great game plan. They were stepping back, not giving up the big play, and Caden and Reese made them pay. I mean, he called everything there. It was a close game there for a while. Then the block field goal, some stuff happened, and number three, Keyshawn broke loose. They couldn't contain him, but Caden and Mike, they gave 44 completions out of 66 attempts or 65 attempts. And Caden, I bet he caught every ball except probably 3 or 4 that was thrown to him. It was a great game by Caden, and Mike did real well. It's just, I mean, it was a great game to watch, a fun game to watch.
All right, with that being said, we've got 6-7 peak performers of the week. It's a difficult decision, but this week we chose Mr. Caden Boyd from the Lebanon Pioneers. This is 2 weeks in a row now that we've had a player that was actually in a losing effort to be named the peak performer of the week. But with you put up numbers like that and you set a state record, you got to give them the.
Well, it's like yes. If he don't catch those, then we're sitting here talking about if they could have caught this pass or that pass, but they didn't. They played well. It's just Virginia High held down more than Lebanon held Virginia High.
Oh, that's a piece. Like Chris, what's his name? Used to play for the Bengals.
Collinsworth. That's right.
Collinsworth would say, yeah.
Our old booger, what's his name? McFarland.
McFarland.
Gosh, he talks in riddles too.
All right. Hey, folks, from the moment you step into the showroom, Ramey's Richlands is ready to put you behind the wheel of the best or most perfect new or pre-owned vehicle for you. Not only do they have one of the area's widest selections of new and pre-owned vehicles, they offer a wide range of extended services, whether it be their service and repair center or their certified parts department. Ramey's Richlands aims to please. Stop by and see the folks at Ramey's Richlands today. Tell them After the Whistle sent you, and let them help you do the deal. Ramey's Richlands. All right, Coach, just move over to Talking Smack real quick here. We've got just a couple quick Talking Smack topics. First topic, Grundy. Are they peaking at the right time? They're 4-4. Could Grundy
That's
end
a
up
positive.
in the hunt?
Yes, they are in the hunt as we speak. Anywhere you go and you bring them up, nobody wants to play.
I mean, they beat PH.
Marion.
Honaker. And PH and Honaker potentially could be in the playoffs. And Grundy's already got 2.
Here's what I want to see. I want to see Grundy be about 4 or whatever. Yeah. And I want our biggest fan out there, Coach Sabo from Chilhowie, to have to travel to Grundy so he can eat these, was juicy, crispy wings. Coach Sabo, if Grundy has to play Chilhowie, get up with me, and you'll come to BELLACINO'S, and it'll be on me.
And Coach Sabo's liable to hit you up for an ice-cold bucket of rocks when he hits you.
Well, there was a lot of that here, too. I don't know. He's been known to drink a couple bucket of rocks.
A beer or 12.
But that's what I want to happen. I want Chilhowie have to travel to Grundy, and I want Coach Sabo, long-time listener, probably one of our biggest supporters, come and eat at BELLACINO'S.
I think that's a pretty good offer right there. He'll probably take you up on it, too.
Uh-oh, boys.
All right, there's a knock at the door.
Let's see what we got here.
Could it be?
Oh,
look there.
baby. Look there. More juicy ones. These are teriyaki style. Look here, Sabo, with a bucket of rocks. Come on down. That's the best case scenario is Chill Howie coming to Grundy, travel to Grundy. So Coach Sturgill and the Warriors can stop and have their pregame meal here at BELLACINO'S, and Coach Sabo can come. We might even do the show.
That would be good.
And have him on the show.
That would be good.
There
We're
you
talking
go.
about all kinds of even if Chill Howie doesn't travel to Grundy, come on to Grundy.
That's right. He probably won't, but
It's worth
we
a
will
shot.
put you on the show, Sabo, if you want to come over.
All right. Next topic. People, I've seen some of this, seen this on Southwest Sports. People talking about it. Is this a golden era of the golden era of quarterbacks in Southwest Virginia? I'm going to give you my immediate one-word response. I'm going to say no, but I'm going to try to defend it here and see what you think. Don't get me wrong, we got some great
it's like
quarterbacks in
this,
Region D
like
right
this.
now.
I mean, there was a guy back in 90-some that I think started all this.
Yeah.
I think they named him.
Oh, did they?
They named him.
What they named him?
Something, Tommy Gunn.
The gun.
The
Tommy
gun. So,
Tommy
I mean,
Gunn.
that might have been where it started changing.
Could have been. It's been a 30-year slide there, but it's finally slid into place.
Well, it's like this.
I think that, go ahead.
They're throwing 60 times a game, 40, 30 times a game. They're throwing the ball more. Yes, we have 3 or 4 great quarterbacks in this area. You've got Oakwin, you've got Music, you've got Reese. I mean, you've got kids that it's pocket, pass, throwing the football. But when you sit back and you're throwing it 25 to 35
True.
to sometimes 40-some a game,
Is it fair to make that comparison? And we do this with professional sports all the time. We compare errors against errors. But is it fair to make that comparison when in 2005 everybody had a strong running game?
That's right.
Or do we have better running backs then, and we've got better quarterbacks
Listen,
now?
There's teams in the 80s and probably 70s, 80s, 90s. Like, I mean, you think, all right, let one of these quarterbacks, these passing teams, go play Tom Turner.
Yeah.
He's going to line up in that wing, and he's going to pound on you,
Yep.
and you might throw the ball 15 times.
You'd be lucky if you get 25.
That's right. I said,
downs.
you can't compare it. You can't. And then I'm sure in the 70s when they're running that power eye, and I mean, you just keep the ball from them.
Yeah, that's like saying
Or Pal Valley. I mean, all right, let's say Phil, Coach Robbins. I mean, he had the Jones brothers.
Why would you?
Yeah, let's throw it. Let him face a team right now that's throwing it 40 or 30 times a game and see what happens.
Man, well, he's going to keep the ball away. Well, I don't know if he keeps
Well,
the ball away
I don't
from
know,
that.
he'll just
They go
score.
80 yards and score.
But then you got Julius and Thomas
Yeah,
in the secondary.
that's true too.
I think there's a kid, Blaine. I think it was a Hackney kid. No, that was Hayside.
Yeah,
I mean, which James always threw the ball, but
Yeah,
when
he
it
was
come
kinda-
down to it, he would run it.
in a lot of ways, if you look at this, you could almost say that a lot of this more elaborate passing schemes kind of originated. I ain't saying he was the godfather of it, but James Colley had a lot to do with this
Lot to
because
do
there
with
was a whole lot of this going on around South.
And James was doing it.
Yeah, and it was for many years. But so that's my position on it. I think we've got some great quarterbacks. I think we had some great quarterbacks, but I think today the fact that the game has changed so much and we passed the ball so many times that's why we're seeing these great numbers. I think we could have seen many of those same great numbers back in the day had teams done that. At the same time, the rushing numbers were bigger back then. All right, last thing. Emory and Henry, for the first time in school history, after going Division II, have cracked the top 25. They are now sitting at number 23 with their recent win over Carson Newman. Emory and Henry improves to 7-1 overall and 5-1 in the SAC. And they've got Mars Hill this Saturday, 3-3. My question to you is Quentin Hunter, who is the current interim head coach, will he end up with this job?
How can he not? I mean, how
Looks like right
the
now.
only way he won't get it is if he don't want it.
That's what
But-
I think. I agree with you.
I mean, but here's the. I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from him. I mean, the kids love him. He's a great coach, and he recruited. But you know, Newsom and there were some coaches there that recruited these kids. But Quentin got everything out of them.
Yeah.
Like the thing's going to be with him is if his staff can go out and get these same kids to come to school.
Yeah. Yep.
See, it's on him now.
It's on him now to get those.
That's right.
Quality players.
The kids were in.
Yeah.
Now he's got to take that next step. But he's great coach.
He's proven
I
that
mean,
he can coach.
Emory. I mean, the fire is there. The fire is there, and he brought it back. Kids are playing hard. I'm talking, it's crazy. And saying when they beat Mars Hill, it's going to be on.
Yeah. Well, good things happening for Emory and Henry. Top 25 right now, first time in school history, and it doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. All right. With that, let's move into our after the whistle top 5 rankings, and I'll start the thing off with our 2A rankings. We've had to move some things around. They're starting to settle in, and I think we're a little bit better on our rankings now than what we've probably been in the past because there's still some questions. Let's go straight to 2A. At number 5, we've got the Lebanon Pioneers sliding in. Number 4, we've got the Ridgeview Wolfpack. Number 3, we now have the Virginia High Bearcats. Number 2, the Union Bears. And, of course, at number 1, the Graham G-Men, who remain unbeaten. All right, Coach.
All right, the 1A coming in at number 5. We have Holston with Royal Retreat right on their heels.
Yep.
And number 4, we've got the Honaker Tigers. And number 3, jumping way up there, guys, and this is just our belief and rolling right now, is the Grundy Golden Wave. They're at number 3. And I think eventually they will move to number 2 if they keep this thing rolling. But number 2, we have the Eastside Spartans, still playing great football, still winning. And then we got the unbeaten Rye Cove War Eagles.
All right. That takes care of our 1A and 2A. Now let's take a look at our Super 7. Coming in at number 7.
Ridgeview Wolfpack.
All right, at number 6, sliding back just a little bit this week, the Rye Cove War Eagles. They're only 118 in our Super 7 this week.
Number 5, the Lebanon Pioneers.
Number 4, Virginia High Bearcats. Continue to improve. Remember, they was our dark horse at the beginning of the season.
Number 3, the Abingdon Falcons.
Number 2, the Union Bears. And at number 1,
The Graham G-Men.
all right, that takes care of our Super 7 for this week. And folks, we're getting ready for the playoffs. We'll start giving you those potential playoff matchups maybe in just a week, possibly even next week. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, now it's time to stump the CRIG. Each week at this time, we make the attempt to stump the CRIG. And basically what we do is we ask him a question. And these questions have been hermetically sealed in an envelope, placed in a bank vault, and protected by armed security for the last 2 weeks in this case, right? Because you weren't here last week.
I was not here last week. Some people's got work.
Some people have to work. That's right. When you meet one of them, let me know. Been secured in a bank vault, was recently delivered here to BELLACINO'S in an armored truck with a gentleman wearing a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist. I have not seen the contents of this envelope, have you?
I have not.
All right, so the way this works is like this. I hold up the envelope, and he is so good, he will tell me the answer to the question before I ever open the envelope and read the question. So he's going to give me the answer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, what is the answer to the question?
The answer is Toad. Toad. Thought you was a horny toad. Don't
Seek the treasure. Do not seek the treasure.
Toad.
Toad, is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right, let's see what we have here. Toad is the answer. What do you call a frog that is illegally parked? Toad.
That's right.
What do you think about that, Pistol? Toad. All right. Well, you got that one right. I guess that does make sense. He's a toad.
That's right.
He's toad. He's a toad. All right. Nonetheless. All right. We have the second question here. You have not seen
I have not.
this one either. Is that correct? All right. So what is the answer to this one?
Lean beef. Lean beef.
Lean
They probably
beef.
had 87, 15, or 13, sorry.
That's one of those too. Okay.
I don't know. My old lady buys that. Where it
His
don't
beef is
agree.
87.15. He's got 2 extra percent of something in it.
Oh, gosh.
Lean beef, is that correct?
12 wings will fill you up. Yes, lean beef.
Lean beef. All right, let's take a look. Lean beef is the answer. The question is, what do you call a cow with 2 legs? Well, I guess that is true. He would be leaning, but
Shoo.
would it be 2 back legs or 2 side legs? Because if it's back legs.
They leaning.
All right. Well, folks, once again, we have failed to stump the CRIG, but maybe next time. All right. With that being said, let's move straight on to our pigskin prognostications and take a look at this week's coming games, give our predictions. And we have the point spread on several of these, and I will say I'm very proud of the fact that I got the Bearcat.
What's this
game
email
yesterday.
from Tazewell County School, Richlands Middle School basketball?
That'd be Franklin Delano Roosevelt Daugherty.
Tazewell County Public School clear bag policy.
Yes, we'll talk about that in just a moment. We need to get to that. I need to take care of that. If nothing else, we'll take care of it on after the whistle. Clear bag policy. All right, first game up on the schedule, we have Grundy traveling to Tulsa, West Virginia.
I'm taking Grundy by 25.
I think Grundy is too big for the officials to rig.
That's right.
Too big for the officials to rig. I'm going with
They'll
Grundy.
call it back and they'll run it back.
That's right. And if they ever want to get out there, they'll just have to quit
It'll
calling.
be big.
Tom Walker at Twin Springs. Now, boy, Twin Springs is banged up.
Thomas Walker.
You going with Tom Walker?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Twin Springs in this one. So we're going to split the fact that it's at Twin Springs. I think Coach Warner will.
Coach Warner,
give
he's
some
been
kind
hit with the injury bug. Nothing he can do except just
give a big hoorah.
grind
speech.
it out.
All right. Abingdon at Union. 9.5 point favorites in this one. This is one of those must-watch
Union by
games.
20.
Union by 20. I'm calling upset alert on this
Yeah.
one. Union by 20.
Yeah.
And that's your call, is Union.
Union gave up 7 points to Graham.
I think Union's going to win as well, but I do think this is one of those must-watch games.
They
You get a
gave
chance
up
to watch.
7 to Ridgeview. Right? Or
Yeah, the kid from what's his name? Owen Barr, 34 carries, 196 yards for Abingdon. I think you're going to see a whole lot of that, which could keep this score low, get that clock running. Union likes to run the ball as well. Of course, they do have the Cam Bostic back there, and they might be a little bit more apt to throw it. But I feel like Abingdon has really settled in with this run game, and I think this game's going to be pretty tight. But I'm going with Union as well. All right, next we got Graham. By the way, 9.5 point favorites.
big cover, easy, mortgage.
All right. Graham at Tazewell.
Mortgage.
Tazewell, 35.5 point underdogs. I wouldn't have
That's
thought
a lot.
that. I wouldn't have thought that at the beginning of the year. I'm going with the G-men in this one. What about you?
Yeah, GB.
What about that spread there?
Tony lets them cover it.
I think so too. PH at Chihai.
I'm going riding Chihai with is the PH quarterback still hurt.
Yeah, well, Chihai, 3.5 point favorites. I think this is one of them must-watch games. You got NFHS Network or feel like getting out and traveling. Head on over to Chihai over there. Nothing else. Keep Coach Sabo and company company during the game. Should be a pretty good one. Lee at John Battle. John Battle, 27.5 point underdogs. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and the way Brandon's throwing the ball, even though he's not probably the best quarterback in his family, they will cover that spread.
Gate City at Central. Central, 21.5 point underdogs. I think Central's playing well enough to maybe.
They might cover it.
Yeah.
It'll be close. That's good.
Gate City for me on this one. You too as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
All right, this is one of those must-watch games. Point spread is pretty low, so I don't know if it's fair to call it an upset alert, but I think it could be. Rural Retreat.
Rural Retreat money line.
Rural Retreat, 2.5 point underdog.
Plus 150.
So who you got? Holston, Rural Retreat.
Rural Retreat. Big win gets them in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm going with Holston in this one. I like Rural Retreat as well, and I think you could be on to something. Marion at Richlands. Richlands 13.5 point favorite. Who would have thunk that? I'm going big R in this one.
I don't know.
I usually don't pick their games, but
I'm going to the big R by 20.
All right. Hurley at Castlewood. The Mustard Biscuit Brigade hosting the boys from the Clift. Castlewood, 8.5 point underdogs. I think that's pretty accurate, but I think Hurley wins this.
Kanan and Bob be too much.
Yep. What about that spread?
It's close. Who knows?
I
It
think
could
that's pretty
be.
good
That's a good one.
Eastmont at Twin Valley. I know you're not going to pick that one, but I will. I think Twin Valley picks up second win of the season. Wishing
be
you the
great.
absolute best of luck there. That
Homecoming.
homecoming.
And guess what, boys? Old Freddie and Ramey's will be down there feeding us.
Hats off.
Looking
to Fred.
forward. Appreciate it, Fred.
All right.
Ribeyes and baked potatoes.
Food good enough to make your tongue want
And salad. And salad.
Salad. Riverview at Eastside. I'm going with
Eastside.
Spartans in this one. Rye Cove at J.I. Burton. All Cove in this one.
War Eagle. They get the glide.
Honeacre at Northwood.
On acre.
Yeah, I think.
Probably another 5 TD night for the
Very-
music boys.
Yeah, very possible. Grayson County at George Wythe. Grayson County not having quite the season that they had
I
last
don't know
year.
much about it.
Well, George Wythe has won 6 straight. So I'm
Well,
going
we'll
with
go
them.
with George Witt.
Trey Rainey, one of the best running backs in the region. All right, John Marshall at Virginia High. I'm
Is
loving
that their
this.
basketball team?
Well, I hope it is because I believe Virginia High is going to get some sweet revenge. I don't know about them, but I don't know how they've managed to pull this off. I think Jenkins stepped out, and somehow this just worked out.
So do they recruit like they do basketball for football?
We're going to find out, and I'm going to bet they don't. I'm taking Virginia High in this one.
Well, if them athletes played that I watched play basketball last year, they played football.
I'm pretty sure they don't. Let's put it this way. If their basketball team is team loaded, their football team is team unloaded.
I guess.
So you got.
I'm going to go with Patterson.
All right. Virginia Tech at Syracuse. Tech, all of a sudden, looking like a football team.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Hokies, the Chokies.
I am too. All right. Tusculum at Wise. Wise
Tusculum.
having a rough year.
Yeah.
But it's going to take them a while. Our boy Ian Scammell, I think.
Had a big touchdown run.
75-yard run.
Congratulations, Ian.
And Emory and Henry at Mars Hill. Now, the fact it's on the road. and at Mars
Emory,
Hill,
baby.
But I'm going with
Coach Hunter's got them rolling, son.
Emory as well. All right. And one quick reminder here, Graham and Rye Cove still unbeaten. John Battle remains winless. And there's someone else, and I can't remember off the top of my head who it is. Can you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Cannot remember. I thought I had it written down here.
You see that.
God, that's terrible. Speaking of the clear bag policy, before we
I was
go
just
anywhere,
kidding.
let's get to that real quick. Tazewell County has a clear bag policy, folks. If you go to a ball game, make sure, especially if you come to Richlands, make sure that the bag is clear. Make sure it meets the size requirements. Don't bring an umbrella and so forth. This isn't a high school policy. This is a county-wide policy.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of people mad. I'm going to give them this information, but it ain't going to work.
Yeah, it probably won't. All right, do you have anything else?
I do not.
All right, until next time, I'm Coach Moore,
Coach Crigger.
reminding you that the man that created autocorrect has died. May he rest in peace.